All right. Welcome to the welcome to my place. My name is Gary, and I like to make speakers and stuff. And what we got going on here today is I just wanted to take a little minute and walk everybody through and show some of the things I've done around here. So, anyway, currently working on this cool set of tannoy drivers that came in another set of boxes, but they're dual concentric. They've got a little coaxial high frequency driver in them. They're pretty sweet. They're like in some $1,000 boxes, but bought them on a deal. One was powered, one was not. They didn't match, so I'm going to start over and make a set for them. But those will be pretty cool. Let's see here. Built this little fella. He's a little miniature Altec A7. Kind of a fun project. He's got a Fatale 3-inch in there. He sounded pretty good. It was okay. It was a fun project. Get some lights going in here. Yeah, there we go. So built these big boys in the corner there. They've got a 15 and a horn, 1-inch horn driver, old school 15-inch JBL. And then we've got the line array project. Sure, a lot of you guys have seen that before. We haven't talked about it much, but here it is. That was kind of a high budget project for me. Let's see, what else we got? Oh yeah, we got the cubes. There's a video series on those. My mix setup here for doing the mix videos and just mixing for, I got friends in bands. We mix their stuff every once in a while. Nothing homemade speaker wise here, but we've got homemade stands. And those are my tannoy Dovers. Those are Monitor Gold drivers in there. Those are pretty sweet. Set of NS10s, you gotta have those. Legit sub. Takes a lot of sub. NS10s. Got some random kind of rack gear. My processing in and out. Yamaha P2200s is what's driving the amps up there. The Pro Tools 192s. That's how we're getting from Pro Tools into the analog console. Starting to get a little bit of outboard gear. Don't have too much yet, but working on it. Everybody's favorite, the Mackie Big Knob. That's the studio control. Got a Stream Deck for streaming. The Avid Artist Mix stuff there. We got a Nitrous DX that we don't use. Another little Yamaha amp. A couple drawers of stuff. CD player, currently not in play. Let's see. Another little speaker project. These were some tannoy ceiling speakers, dual concentric again. And I built the little boxes for those. And they're kind of a desktop monitor. They've got a passive radiator on them, so they make a little bit of low end. Not a ton, but a little. But they're super fun. They actually sound surprisingly good. They're kind of the shit. And another one of the big Altecs, the line array. These I'm using as basically a speaker stand. This is the video editing central here. And let's see, the little Yamahas, those are there because I trust them. It's good to have something to refer to. And got a little Focusrite Scarlett 2i4. There's a radial monitor controller. Don't have that hooked up yet, but I will at some point. Cool. Well, this is the mix space here, the studio. This is where some of the magic happens. And it's just loaded full of stuff. But it's been many hours in here. Let's see here. These are my old A7s. These are highly modified. They don't even have Altec components in them anymore, and they're self-powered. They've got modern horn drivers. I powder coated the horns. Yeah, we did extra bracing on the inside, a bunch of extra insulating. And then they're also now self-powered with a network controllable mini DSP ice power amplifier module, 250 per channel. So 500 watts, 250 going to the HF and 250 to the woofer, but obviously the woofer does the heavy lifting. Those are kind of the shop speakers. And that's what's going on there. Let's see. These little fellas, let's see if I can get the light to work here. These are my live mix monitors and Avid S6L. And these are just a little coaxial biamped. They were built by Ryan McCauley. And they're coaxial and biamped, as you can see from the connections. And then this is the amplifier crossover DSP to drive them. And that's a homemade little gizmo. Let's see, what else did we build around here? Let's see, these were Christmas gifts. My kids have all kind of moved on from these, but they got a pretty spanky little driver in them. They're not very big. They're 4.5 inches wide and 7 inches tall is all. So kind of a desktop size. They really need a tweeter. They don't sound bright enough to me. So I may pull those components out of there and do something different. But we'll see. What else have I built around here? We've got the other one of the little tannoys. This is a Parts Express Bluetooth speaker kit. Actually kind of highly recommend that. It only costs $100 and they work really good. I made them for Christmas gifts. And remember, eat more chicken. This is a repurposed Infinity 8-inch little subwoofer. I just stole the parts out of a crappy, 90s, early 2000 Infinity subwoofer. So 18 sound 1-inch compression drivers. I've got a bunch of these and I use them in all kinds of projects. Originally I was going to install them in the Gorge delay system, but we moved on to a whole new rig, so we didn't do that. Fatale 6-inch woofer. Super good drivers for the money. Highly recommend. Line array waveguide. Those kind of suck. Highly don't recommend those. Let's see. Ooh. EAW. Ended up bought I think 4 of these for $200 one day. And they're an SB48. I put speak-ons on those. All right. So there's all that goodness. Let's bust out to the warehouse. Let's see, what do we got? All the good stuff's upstairs here. Let's get on up there and check it. The new shop stereo. These are, that's my Marantz 2285B. Still has the original Protecto plate. She's a cream puff. These are the GBL C38s. And the C meant cabinet. So you could buy these just the cabinet, and then you got to pick your components and put in them. And the old boy that bought these, I think he bought it with the cheapest components and then he upgraded, because there is LE85 compression drivers in those. Super cool. Let's see, more random builds. 6-inch two-way. Some JBL Jew balls. L65, I think. Jew balls. Some old Yamahas. L88 Lancers. Or, I'm sorry, 77 Lancers. Old school JBL crossovers. Those crossovers are Surprisingly hard to come by these days. Yeah, same thing there. What are these? L88 Nova, I think is what these are. Which I kind of like. I really like these boxes. They look cool. Let's see. Components. Ooh. These are kind of sexy. This is off of their 1400 series, which they've got a great big compression driver on them. A little bit of a crossover. That's just for the super tweeter. A little BNC half-inch compression driver. That's right. I said half-inch compression driver. Focus. Focus. Oh, it's too dark. Oh well. Let's see. Random little sub test mule. Nothing crazy. Other half of the big horn things. Lots of cables and stuff. Whoa. More drivers, more drivers, more horns, more horn drivers. More horns, more horn drivers, more horns. More horn drivers. More horns and horn drivers. More old school. Old JBLs. Love my old JBLs. Old D140F. Those are great. That one needs a new dust cap. Let's see. Well, there's some old Gauss back there. JBL coaxial. Got some Chinese BNC. Got some 1400 series JBLs. I got these old girls. What are these? LE14 LC? So these are coaxial. Let me flip one over here. It's a rebuild project. I have not been able to source the spider that goes from here to there. And then the tweeter, I got parts to rebuild it. It had is a tedious little rebuild, but new foam is here. Yeah, the foam's laying down in there. And then one of the tweeter rings is in there, but all the parts are there. I gotta just get them put together and find that part I'm missing. But we'll get there. Oh, let me set the camera down for a second. Sorry. I don't want to leave these things open. Okay, where were we? Yeah, random subwoofer. More cool old. These are 1400 series JBLs. These are super cool. And these will go with those big black horns we looked at. And they're all fresh recones in those. All ready to go. Just need to build up the cabinets for those. That'll be a fun project. Got a Electro Voice 18. Probably make a subwoofer out of that. We got some 2202H's. Another 1400. More drivers there. Set of infinities. More horns. More components. Little drivers. MBRs. Highly don't recommend. Don't ever buy those. They're shit. Boxes of amplifier parts. Sure you've seen some of those on the channel. More components. Crappy horns. Piezo's. I don't know why I bought those. Some project. Tweeters. Compression drivers. Compression drivers. Tweeters. More compression drivers. Random stuff. More horns. More horns. More drivers. And let's see, what else we got? Oh yeah, more drivers. All sorts of speakers. That is what my life has been all about. these noisemakers. There's the old gorge delay rig up there. A couple of unfinished projects. You get the idea. It's a shop full of fun sound stuff. Yeehaw. I think, well, let's see, I got one more little pile of coolness over here. Let's go check it. Let's see. A pair of old Turbo Sound TMS 4s. I think that's right. TMS 4. TMS 4. Yeah. Should be made in England or something. Oh yeah, made in England. They came all the way from across the pond. And they're kind of funky cool. They got an 18, a 10, and a 1-inch. In kind of a horn-loaded configuration. Folded 18, and a horn-loaded 10 and a horn-loaded 1 that are physically in time alignment. We didn't have much DSP back then, so we had to physically time align. And this is one of my designs. This is our ARCS box. We repurposed a bunch of JBL components into these. They're pretty fun. They work good. They're a kind of a slice of pie. And that was RMS Acoustics now. Ryan McCauley. Let's see. What else we got? There's a little random Altec in there. Got some homemade studio monitors under there. Somewhere around here I've got a 1940, 48, 46, 43. I don't remember the exact year on it. But this predates this Tiger King of speakers. That's me. This would be the oldest speaker in the building, built in the 40s. Let's see if I can get it out of here. Here, come on, little buddy. Yeah, there we go. All right. Original Altec Lansing. Built in, I think, 43, I think, is when they were built. So old. Made in Hollywood, California. That was where the original Altec factory was back then. And then I think they moved to Anaheim after that when Hollywood got too expensive. But these, so I can dig it out of here. It's got some really cool patina on them because they lived in a theater. They lived in the Kenworthy Theater in Moscow, Idaho for, I think, their whole life. Or at least as long as the Kenworthy existed, I believe these were in there. And they just rolled them around and used them. Used them on their movie nights, used them for just general PA duties. And I do have the original build sheets on these, and they were signed by none other than James B. Lansing. So some of the early Altec stuff. All right. There's those. I think that's about it. The rest of it's just kind of modern PA gear. I think that's all my junk. Random replacement components and spare parts. I got old consoles and gorge delay rig around here somewhere too. All right, let's bust our way back. Cable rack. Gotta have some cables. And that is it. That is my COVID-19 work from home digs, which would much rather be working away from home. Anyway, current project, I'm going to get these built up. That'll be fun. And then I'm redesigning the cubes using all the same parts. Do a little redesign on those, and then make some videos about that. And I'm going to go ahead and use these little tannoys on another desktop spot. Anyway, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.